Hello guys and welcome back to my channel for another episode of Hood Gaming's Tactic Tester. So far, 4 tactics have already run the gauntlet in the Tactic Tester from 3 superb creators and myself. We've got the results on a leaderboard, which I will show you guys in a second so you can see how everyone is getting on. But this weekend, we welcome Pav FM from FM Base onto the Tactic Tester to give his all with his 3-3-1-3 tactic. So we're going to jump in and show you the tactic, and I will come back and let you know how the tactic got on throughout the course of the season. But first things first, let's reiterate the rules and show you guys the leaderboard. So then guys, just to remind you all of the rules, the tactics must have a proven record of success and achievement, which I will be able to show you guys with Pav FM's tactic very shortly. All tactics will use the same team and fixtures for the test, which is Arsenal and 1 season of the Premier League. No transfers will be allowed to be made in either transfer window by the team. Tactics will be loaded in and the whole season will be simulated, and all points, wins, goals scored and win percentage will be collected and displayed to find the best FM21 tactic out there. So then guys, as I mentioned, this is the current state of the leaderboard. I am still somehow top of the tree, probably because my tactic was very unimaginative. It was a 4-2-3-1 and that seems to work pretty well in this game. So as I said, I'm currently still sat top with 84 points, 119 goals scored. Not the best in terms of goals conceded. JDFM holds that title. Goals per game is still me, just about, and then the win percentage at 66.66%. But obviously, I am expecting to be knocked off the top of that perch very, very soon, and hopefully today's tactic from Pav FM can do that. So let's get into the tactic. So then guys, here we are. This is the tactic. It is listed as a 3-3-1-3 Cruyff turn. And it looks very, very different from everything that I've seen in FM21 so far this year. There's some different roles in here. It's just very, very interesting for me. And so he's got a standard goalkeeper. He's got 2 ball-playing defenders either side, but he's also got a libero, which you don't see too much of. I'm very interested when we go and do the quick pick to see who that libero is going to be. He's got a complete wing back on the right hand side, which I actually think is pretty good for Hector Bellerin. Inverted wing back on the left hand side. He's also got a secundo volante, which is a role I've personally never ever used in Football Manager, so I'm very intrigued to see who fills that spot and how they get on. Obviously he's got a Mazzala here prompting this interesting line across the midfield, 2 pressing forward and 1 advance forward as well. Obviously I'm not going to go into too much detail. If you want more information on this tactic, I will leave a link to Pav FM in the description. Go and check him out. Make sure you go over to him on Twitter, give him a follow, and if you've got any more questions about this tactic and how you can get your hands on it, make sure you get in touch with him. So what we usually do with this is at this current stage we do a quick pick, and the Arsenal assistant manager tells me his best players to fit this current shape. So I'm very interested to see who is the libero. If we do the quick pick here, this is based on Arsenal's team. So David Luiz going in as the libero and Thomas Partey as the segundo volante. So this is going to be a very interesting one, I think, guys. Leno holding, David Luiz, Gabriel is not too bad as a defensive unit. Bellerin on this side, Ceballos, Partey, and Maitland-Niles as the inverted wing-back on the left-hand side, with the front 3 of Lacazette, Eddie Nketiah, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So guys, I'm going to sim this season. I'll be back in just a few seconds to show you how this tactic got on. Okay then guys, so we are back at the end of the season, and initially the first thing I can see from the home screen is that Arsenal finished in 5th place. However, another thing that I can see is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has scored 44 goals, which is just insane. Hector Bellerin with a 14 assists as well. So interesting in the Premier League. If we go over to the competitions tab, oh wow. That's a very good season. That is a very good season. Okay, so Winners in the Community Shield, so he matches me on that one. Manages to pick up the Carabao Cup, which is another good trophy, even though the board don't care about it. I personally think it's a good one to win. And was runner-up in the Europa League. Be very interesting to see how they got on once we dive into the fixtures. Knocked out in the 5th round of the FA Cup by Manchester United, who were the eventual winners, beating Leicester 2-0. So, very, very interesting. A very good season, despite not finishing inside the top 4. Let's go into the schedule and see how they got on then. So the Community Shield is usually the first one. Won that on penalties there. As you can see, Aubameyang missing the penalty, but Pepe, Lacazette and David Luiz scoring. Salah, Curtis Jones and Jordan Henderson missing their penalties for Liverpool there. Very nice run to start the season, as is a customary with this actually. Then 2 late goals from Leeds, snatching that victory there at Ellen Road. That's very interesting. Losing to Standard Liège in Europa League Group C, but Arsenal did still finish top of that group. That is probably one of the easier groups I have seen in this tactic tester. But in another great run here, this is a fantastic spell of wins all the way down until they play Manchester City away, losing 2-1 there to a late Ferran Torres goal. Also not the end of the world. They managed to beat Manchester City in the Carabao Cup semi-final, so they played some of the big hitters a lot this season. Look at this run here from, when's that? 21st of November all the way down until the start of February. That is a superb run with just 1 loss in there. Absolutely smashing things by the looks of things. So then they get into the business end of the season with a lot of the cups. Premier League loss to Wolves, beat Manchester United in the Premier League, but then lose them in the FA Cup. Looks like a relatively strong team as well. Looks like Manchester United were just better in that game. Let's take a look at some of the stats. Oh, it's double loaded here. Let's see how Manchester United got on. Rashford scored, Martial, Rashford. 3 goals in the last 10 minutes, with Gabriel having a goal disallowed just before that would have made it 3-1. Ouch. That is very, very tough to take. Going through in the Europa League, beating Liga Warsaw by the looks of things. Then the Carabao Cup semi-final, beating Southampton in extra time. Who scored that goal? Kieran Tierney. 89th minute equaliser for Southampton as well. Absolutely mad scenes. Looks like they've had some injuries as well by the looks of things. Nketiah, Pepe and Reece Nelson. Yeah, this team's definitely had some injuries, 100%. Go through in the Europa League, beating Dinamo Zagreb. Go through on away goals. That's interesting. Nice run in the Premier League again. Next round, quarterfinals of the Europa League, facing North London rivals Tottenham. Nice 2-0 win at the Emirates, and then a 4-2 game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but the away goals enough to see Arsenal through there. Tough loss to Liverpool here, 2-1. Then playing them just a few days later. The way this season's worked out is absolutely nuts. Played them a few days later at the Emirates and beat them 5-4. Go through into the semi-finals, playing Sivasspor, which is one of the easier semi-finals that I think you would have been able to get. Lazio and Salzburg on the other side of that. Arsenal winning theirs 8-0 on aggregate, which is just absolutely nuts. So what happened in the first game? So the first game away from home, they won 1-0. Then they get them back to the Emirates and absolutely pump them after the opposition getting a man sent off in the 13th minute. But looking at this, they're already 2-0 up. Maitland-Niles and Aubameyang with 2 goals before this guy even gets sent off. And then the floodgates sort of open. So to finish the season then, that's a tough loss against Aston Villa. Again, 93rd minute loss there. A lot of late goals going in here. Nice results against Everton, Chelsea and Chelsea again, before losing to Manchester United 3-2 on the final day of the Premier League season. And then they go into the Europa League final not long after and unfortunately lose 3-1 to Lazio. Ciro Immobile scoring a hat-trick in that one, being the deciding factor. So that is very impressive for a season. Obviously, you would expect these tactics to do better if you are in control of them. If we go into the squad view then, if we take a look at the goals scored, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, 44 goals. Nicolas Pepe, 29 goals. 25 goals for Nketiah. 13 goals for Lacazette. It's probably one of the smaller goal returns we've seen for Lacazette in this tactic tester. 11 for Willian. So let's take a look at some of these players. Take a look at some of their injury history. So in this season, wow. So in this season, Lacazette has a tight hamstring and has also broken his leg. You'd have to think they'd finish in the top 4 if he didn't do that. We go over to Aubameyang as well. Twisted ankle, pulled groin, bruised ankle, pulled groin. So he's had a couple of injuries. He's missed a couple of only 3, 4, just over 4 weeks there. But Nicolas Pepe is absolutely surging in this tactic. He's done very, very well. Did he have any knocks of note? Just slight ones where he was out for a couple of days. So not too bad. As you can see though, this tactic pulls in the goals like they are going out of style. If we go into the analyst report, let's take a look at some of their stuff here. So the general performance, as you can see, absolutely smashing the goals per game and the expected goals per game. This tactic obviously seems to be one that is producing a lot of good chances. Scores a high number of goals expected per 90 minutes compared to the average, and wins a relatively average ratio of tackles just on the general. If we go over to the scoring, as you can see, the shot map for us in the last 5 matches, expected goals over the last 5 matches is just over 10. And they scored 11 goals. 61 attempts is absolutely crazy. And as you can see, some of these have been going in from inside the area, and some of these have been really, really good blocks as well. So unbelievable stuff there. If we go over to the attacking efficiency, they are one of the most aggressive and one of the most clinical, with a very impressive conversion rate of around 16.5%. Around the 14-15 shots per game, which is just unbelievable. If we go over to the goals, you can see a lot of them scored in the middle of the park, which is kind of what you would expect, and the assists coming through in that center region as well. If we go over to the goals conceded and we take a look at their shot map, expected goals conceded, I assume this is, yeah, over the last 5 matches is 8.82, and they've conceded 8, but obviously they are coming up against some tight opposition at the end of the season. Defensive efficiency based on the Premier League, they're sort of sat around here facing 12 shots a game, with a conversion rate for the opposition between 11 and 12%. So they are quiet and relatively impenetrable. So despite having just 3 at the back, it has done very, very well. So as you can see here, this is what the formation is listed as, is a 5-1-1-3 DM wing-back asymmetric. It's a very, very interesting and very, very interesting shape. And as you can see, clear-cut chances for and against has a plus 66, which is absolutely nuts. Created a chance every 31 minutes, a chance against every 54 minutes, and used for 4,729 minutes, used for the whole season. So the formations that this got on very well against, you can see the 4-3-3 with a plus 14, also a plus 20 against the standard 4-4-2, creating a chance every 28 minutes. This is absolutely nuts, guys. I have a feeling from looking at the schedule that this may well come out on top in terms of the win ratio, and will absolutely decimate me in terms of goals scored. But let's get into that leaderboard. Okay then, guys, so we are back with the tactic test, the leaderboard, and as you can see, we have someone new sat at the top of the tree. Pav FM has come in with a 67.74% win ratio, and his goals per game has absolutely blitzed the competition with 2.48 goals per game. He has conceded the most in this tactic tester at 73, but has scored the most by far with 154 goals scored. He did have the worst league position, which is very interesting to see from a tactic that's created so many chances. Those are the worst league position and almost the worst in terms of total points collected. However, it wasn't all doom and gloom. He did finish the season with 2 trophies, the cheap one that I've given myself as well as the Community Shield. He also won the Carabao Cup, but was very unfortunate to lose in the Europa League final to Italian side Lazio. So guys, there we have it. We have a new leader in the tactic tester. Do you think you have a tactic that can knock Pav FM off the top of our leaderboard? If you do, make sure you get in touch with me either in the comment section or on Twitter or Instagram. Make sure you get in touch, and we will love to have you on the Tactic Tester. If you are enjoying this series and you have enjoyed this episode and found out something completely new about a different way of doing things in FM21, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager content. I'll be back this same time next week with another person running the Tactic Tester gauntlet. Hopefully I'll see you guys there.